Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Devontae, and I sacrifice my time so you don't have to. I gotta speak on this because it's really disgusting behavior. It's disgusting. It's really disgusting. So, if you guys didn't know, unfortunately, Kevin Sullivan passed away. He's been sick for a while now, and it just eventually he succumbed. He succumbed to his illness, right? And rather than actually focusing on the life of Kevin Sullivan and, talking about his contributions to professional wrestling, what he's done for the business and how awesome he is and all that stuff, you have these nut jobs coming out again, taking up for Chris Benoit. Now, mind you, just making it known, Chris Benoit is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, if not my A1, right behind Chris Jericho. If it wasn't for Chris Benoit, there's a good shot that I wouldn't be here talking to you right now, because he's the guy that got me he's the guy that made professional wrestling a religion for me. Die-hard fan of Benoit. I can easily look away from the murders and stuff like that and say that I miss him from a wrestling perspective, while at the same time saying that he's burning in hell. I can easily separate the issues. I can't speak for everybody else. I understand why everybody else can't do it, but I can do it, and I will do it. There's no way I can just outright look at my favorite wrestler of all time and just outright dismiss his entire career. That's not how it works. At least not for me. Maybe for you. But at the same time, I can easily acknowledge that he's a piece of shit burning in hell, and there is no redeem for him at all as far as societal consequences, as far as him being able to make himself a martyr or whatnot. Some people may want to make him a martyr. That's not me, and this is coming from one of his diehard fans. He's a piece of shit and he should burn in hell. With that being said, these people are coming out of the woodworks. And mind you, just to set up the context for you guys real quick before I start reading this, back in 1997, 1996, around that time frame, Chris Benoit was engulfed in a feud with Kevin Sullivan. It involved Kevin Sullivan's then wife, Nancy, essentially cheating on him to go with Benoit. It was a part of a tactic when Benoit was with the Four Horsemen to get back at Kevin Sullivan, right? This was all stemming off of the issues with Brian Pillman and him quitting and the Booker Man stuff and whatever, right? Feud went off to Benoit. Eventually, Benoit did get Nancy. But while it was booked that way, and while Kevin Sullivan booked it that way, things started to take a bit of a turn, and Nancy actually ended up falling in love with Chris Benoit. And she legitimately left Kevin Sullivan to be with Benoit, which obviously ended up with Nancy divorcing Kevin Sullivan, right? All that builds up to a point where we get to around 1999, like really late 99, early 2000, where Vince Russo, I think he was let off from his booking duties, and the Radicals, that be Benoit, Guerrero, Perry Saturn, D. Malenko, and Shane Douglas, who wasn't a part of the Radicals at the time. I mean, at the time they were called themselves the Revolution, but there was a situation where they were very worried about Kevin Sullivan's booking, in particular Chris Benoit, because he feels like Kevin Sullivan might want to get back at him for all the Nancy stuff, right? Which couldn't have been further from the truth. I highly recommend checking out Mike Graham's shoot interview on this situation. But the whole story goes that Chris Benoit was trying to get Kevin Sullivan fired so he didn't have to deal with his booking. But Kevin Sullivan, still holding on to the job, because he wanted to show Benoit that he could be a team player. And he ended up booking Chris Benoit to become the World Heavyweight Champion. He took the belt for Sid Vicious, who, by the way, he himself didn't want to drop the belt to Benoit. Even gave Sid Vicious an out. I think his leg was underneath the rope or something like that. He gave him an out in order to give Benoit the belt. Pretty much Kevin Sullivan did everything he could to show that he was a team player and that it was water under the bridge between him and Benoit in regards to Nancy. That bridge was not gonna be rebuilt, but at the same time, he can do business. Benoit, rightfully so, you can look at it from his perspective, probably thought to himself, I can't trust this guy. And even though Kevin Sullivan gave the world championship to Benoit, even though all his friends were telling him that it's a stupid idea, he still did it anyways, and Benoit left. Still, and he took his friends with him. Now, one may argue from the perspective of, well, yeah, I can see Benoit's perspective as far as not being able to trust the guy he stole his wife from, but at the same time, you did him dirty. You allowed him to do his best to come through in regards to the booking for you, and you fucked him over. That's just facts. That's documented. Kevin Sullivan was fucked over by Chris Benoit. You can empathize with Benoit in regards to making the decision that he made, but he made the decision that then Kevin Sullivan put his everything on the line, put his credibility on the line, all that for a guy who still made him look like a bitch by leaving the company while he was world champion to go to the competition. You don't do that, and Benoit did it. He should have just left. He shouldn't have took the booking. He just did it because, who is it hurting in the end of the day but the guy who I hate? That's what Benoit did. Mind you, coming from a diehard Benoit mark, I'm telling you, it was a fucked up thing for him to do. It was a piece of shit thing for him to do. He made him look like an embarrassment for no reason after taking his wife. How do you fucking look at that and say to yourself you condone that? For anybody else, you would call them a fucking hoe if it was Nancy. Anybody else that wasn't Nancy, you would have called them a hoe. Anybody else who was Chris Benoit, you would have called him a piece of shit, a son of a bitch. Imagine your homeboy doing something like that. You gonna still slide for him? Hell nah. But with all that being said, and the context being put across like that, eventually, Benoit ended up doing what he did. Benoit ended up doing what he did. He murdered Daniel and he murdered Nancy. He sedated them. More particular, he didn't sedate Nancy. He just flat out murdered her brutally. Never mind the fact that there are fingerprints on the fucking phone cord that he used to strangle her with. Never mind the fact that there's an imprint on her back that can only be done by a guy like Benoit from the weight. How many people you know are that size that weighs that heavy like a Chris Benoit or a professional wrestler in fucking general? Benoit hung himself. He hung himself with weights. He talked to Chavo Guerrero. All the evidence is there to tell you what the fuck happened. But of course, it was a professional hit job. Literally nothing. No fucking paper trail. No correlation whatsoever. These people think that Kevin Sullivan is in the back pocket of the Georgia police or some shit like that. In the back pocket of the FBI, who also investigated this situation. Literally everybody Kevin Sullivan has in his back pocket in 2007. In any period in Kevin Sullivan's life. But apparently Kevin Sullivan has all these people in the back of his pocket. It's pure fucking insanity. It's pure fucking insanity. You have Chris Benoit's son David outright dismissing this as a complete joke. Go watch his interview with Chris Van Vliet. David said straight up, these are jokes. These people who come up with these conspiracy theories, I wish they would stop. They're jokes. You don't even know what you're doing, bro. You're harming the fucking family, man. Nancy's sister is still alive, trying to keep her memory alive. And you're constantly trying to put off this nonsense. Do you know what that's doing to her? Do you know what that's doing to the rest of the Nancy family? But of course, because you're so hell-bent. And mind you, again, biggest Benoit mark in the world right here talking to you. Every chance you get, you hear me praising Benoit's matches, talking about Chris Benoit. I'm one of his biggest fucking supporters in regards to his wrestling. But these people, in their dogmatic ways of fucking thinking, literally they have no answer. I remember hearing Bill Actor, who I fucking solely blame for the conspiracy theories, by the way, on Chris Jericho podcast, talking about, whoa, golly gee willikers, I can't tell you why I believe, because he came up with this whole nonsense hitman bullshit. I think a hitman did it, and, well, they cleaned it all up to make sure that it looks like, you know, because a professional hitman can absolutely fucking do that. With literally no paper trail, Bill. No paper trail at all. All the stuff that happened in their house. The damage, the beer bottles lying on the floor. I mean, not the beer bottles, but the wine bottles lying on the floor. The Xanax stuff lying around. Fucking Nancy being dead. The toxicology report showed that Nancy died one day, Daniel died the next day, and Benoit died the other day. Why not kill them all at one time? What, so the hitmen just stood around the house the entire time watching all three of them die one by one? No concern whatsoever? Benoit got on the phone multiple times with people in the company, like Chavo Guerrero, for an example? The hitmen just allowed all of that to fucking occur, huh? Really? Really, that doesn't create any kind of paper trail, because totally, Bill, totally, that sounds like something a professional hitman would do. We'll let this all go down throughout 3 days. Nothing of regards in terms of fucking common sense, because literally there's bottles all over the floor. The toxicology report read that they had, mind you, therapeutic levels, but nevertheless sedatives that actually sedated Daniel. before the deed was done to him. What, the pillow in itself, the knee in the back of Nancy, the cord that shows that there's an imprint on her neck, the present testosterone and steroids inside Benoit's system that literally tells you the story of road rage, or roid rage. All that stuff fucking happened. But these people deny it. These people come up with the most convenient fucking excuses. Well, goddamn, Devontae, they closed the case early. Maybe they closed the case early because it was that fucking obvious, you damn Nimrods. But it gets even worse, bro. Because even up to these people, bro, they go out of their way and they're literally, they're just burying Kevin Sullivan. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Listen to some of these comments, bro. These unhinged motherfuckers who can't type, who can't spell, but they'll be the first. He killed Chris Benoit and his family. Chris Benoit is about to get his revenge. Hate to say that. Listen to this unhinged motherfucker. Hate to say I'm glad he's gone, but I think he has something to do with Chris Benoit murder. Mind you, they have no proof. Let's just hypothetically say you want to play devil's advocate and be as stupid as humanly fucking possible and say that, well, Devontae, we have no clue what fucking happened. You listen to these Nimrods. Well, we have no clue what fucking happened. But these are the same people saying that they're glad that Kevin Sullivan is dead. We have no proof of what happened, guys. You can't prove it, I can't prove it, but what I can say is that I'm glad Kevin Sullivan is dead. Does that make any sense to anybody? How fucking unhinged is that, bruh? How fucking unhinged is that? My guy, it goes on though. It goes on. Some of these people, Chris Benoit finally gets his piece. The murderer of Chris Benoit has died. Probably because he murdered Chris Benoit and his family. Rumor has it that this guy was a Satanist and it's believed that he has something to do with the death of Chris Benoit. Satanists and Masons are the same and they are in control of this beautiful world. Do you see how fucking unhinged these comments are, bro? Listen to this guy. Fuck Kevin Sullivan. I know he did it. I've been saying it since day one he did it. I hope Chris Benoit is beating his ass all over purgatory. I know Kevin did it to get even for him stealing his wife. I hope he rots in hell. Chris Benoit didn't do it. The guy did it. That guy did it. These are some of the most unhinged fucking comments I think I've ever read, period, point blank, in regards to professional wrestling. The same lunatics who will tell you we have no proof, we have no fucking evidence, are the first ones to still say that they're glad Kevin Sullivan did it. Or Kevin Sullivan is dead, even though they say they have no proof. No, it's worship of Benoit. You guys see this, right? It's worship of a guy that they can't really fathom actually did something this horrendous. All the evidence in the fucking world. All the fucking evidence in the goddamn world. Imagine something like this happening, for an example, in the political spectrum to one of their favorite candidates. Imagine, right? Imagine. They'll be the first ones to call all that shit conspiracy. Oh, well, we can see it with our own two eyes. Oh, man, you guys and you guys are libs. Oh, you guys are repubtards. But when it happens with one of their other wrestlers, it's a demagogue. It's their demagogue. Oh my God, it's bruh. Or they're not demagogue, but they're treating Benoit as if he's a demagogue. It's insane. It's pure fucking insanity. No, folks, Kevin Sullivan didn't do anything. All the evidence, the toxicology report, which, by the way, I would notate doesn't have a legitimate correlation outside of the fact that it found all the fucking things inside Benoit's body that at least entails that he had roid rage. It's insanity. It's pure insanity. These people should be ashamed of themselves. And trust me, they're going to show up in the comment section. Don't engage with these fucking retards. I mean, you guys are probably going to do it anyways, but I'm telling you, you shouldn't engage with them. They're going to do everything in their power to take things that are just common sense in regards to, like, well, they ended it early, Devontae. Can you explain the Wikipedia post, Devontae? Can you explain this? Can you explain that? The Wikipedia post was a fucking coincidence. Straight up fucking coincidence. If that was actually something that they by the way, they linked back to the person who actually made the Wikipedia article and found no wrongdoing on his part. Literally, these people are just making excuses after excuse after excuse after excuse. The dude made the Wikipedia article because Benoit didn't show up that night and he thought it'd be funny to make something up to, Benoit's not here. This is before we knew anything about the fucking tragedies. He made something up because Benoit wasn't there that night. He was trolling. But coincidentally, Benoit actually did fucking die. Mind you, the Wikipedia article made no notion of fucking Nancy. It made no notion of Daniel. It just said Benoit died. And he did that specifically to troll people because Benoit wasn't there that night. I don't know how the fuck... It's frustrating. It's frustrating, bro. The only good thing, the only solace behind all this is that these people are only online. No one outside of these fucking Nimrods think like this. So that's a good thing. That's actually a very important thing. Because outside of that, bruh, it's sickening. It's sickening. But everybody has to feel special because they feel like they know something more than the next person. It's fucking sickening. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I don't give a fuck if you, bruh, have your fucking self-conversation with yourself. I don't give a shit, bro. You people are lunatics anyways, bro. Chris Benoit murdered his family. Chris Benoit was burning in hell, and at the same time, Chris Benoit was an excellent wrestler. All those things can coexist. Rest in peace, Kevin Sullivan. You were a great mind in the business. Fucking, bro. It's just sickening. Just talk to each other amongst each other. I'm flabbergasted right now. I'll be back for the SmackDown review. Fucking disgusting. Fucking disgusting.